Hi, everyone. As usual, I hope and pray that you're all doing really well out there. Um, there's a couple guys in particular that I know are on the mend, and they're both across the pond. My good friend Eric, Slick Slicer, is back behind the camera. If you guys don't know, go to his channel and say hi. The other one is Taz, Andy King, who's been going through a lot of pain for a long time. But he's a fighter too. That's you guys are all you guys, even the ones I'm not mentioning right now, are an inspiration to me to keep fighting and clawing and trying to get yourself back, you know, not just so much for the YouTube stuff, just so you can be with your families, your wives, your friends. It's a really good thing to fight and then be successful on the comeback. I'm doing better. I did have a cancer screening on Wednesday, which was clear. And of course, I was with my dad, who asked the question you're not supposed to ask. He asked my oncologist, well, when will my son be able to relax and, you know, feel that this disease is behind him? And my oncologist came back with a frank answer, and he said, well, typically, it takes 5 years of clean screenings without any tumor growth um, to be on the right track, to have a chance for longevity, I guess you could say. So, but he also said it's from the time of your diagnosis. And 2 years ago, this coming August, was when I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And this oncologist, I mean, he's been great. All my healthcare people have been great. Like Eric was talking about, the nurse named Jen, who literally saved his life. And yes, I've met Jen with a different name here in America on numerous occasions. So anyway, I don't want to get too deep into it. This is a tribute to pretty much those two guys from across the pond. I know a lot of you guys are still hurting out there, but I can only do two at a time. So this is for Eric and Taz, and you'll see why when I drop the camera here. Now, Eric was the one that kind of, I won't say he introduced me to Taylor's Eyewitness. That would have been, God, what's his, Stefan Schelmaus? Don't know how to pronounce his last name. But I once seen a Taylor's Eyewitness Premiere Edition Desert Ironwood on his channel. And then I started looking it up, and that's where I found Eric, because Eric has a vast collection of these pieces here. So one thing I want to tell you guys here in America, that if you're just collecting American pieces, do yourself a favor, and if you can pull it off, try and find one of these Taylor Eyewitness Barlows. You won't regret it. I guarantee you that. So I'm showing 6 here, and there's a couple pieces. This is a custom from Ashley Harrison, who I was able to obtain this through Taz. Taz, you can contact him. I don't know exactly what his Facebook address is, but a lot of you guys probably know him, but he runs a Facebook group, and I think he's on Instagram too. If you want me to try and get a hold of him for you if you may have a special request. I'll try and do that, but I will tell you that the guy is kind of in the midst of kind of rehabbing himself too, as he has a lot of back issues. But anyway, forget about the bad stuff. Let's look at the good stuff. Now here, you're going to see 6, but there's number 7 is here, which is the one I like to carry. And this is the one in Ambonia Burl. You can see why I like to carry this one. Just a gorgeous piece, but I love the way it fits in my hand. And I love the fact that the craftsman, Lee White, forgot to put a notch when he filed. Okay, here you see how 1, 2, 1, 2. There's actually supposed to be a little notch here. So I kind of like that little handmade imperfection, I guess you could call it. And here I'll show you. Not that this is a bad thing. It's just something I just noticed since I've been carrying it. You'll see the file work is identical here. And Lee forgot to put one there. So I kind of like to think of it that he forgot to put that on just for me, because he knows I kind of like things like that show you that it is a handcrafted piece. And Lee White is one of a few craftsmen over there that build the premier collection from start to finish. I'm sure he builds Taylor's Eyewitness also makes an economy brand, budget brand, and I think he also rips through a lot of those. The guy is a true craftsman. And they use some of the best materials, handle materials, that you'll ever find. And this one's in Ambonia Burl. And like I said, each one fits different in your hand. That's how handmade they are. In this one, I just love the way this one fits. So that's kind of my favorite carry. And I was lucky enough to have a good friend, Eric, send me over this pocket slip. And if you'll see, it says Made in England. DL is the guy's initials. Who Eric told me that for some reason, he stopped making these slips. And that's just gorgeous. I thank you so much for that, Eric. So we got the Ambonia Burl. This one here, I just wanted to prove to everybody. You can see that this was when I was working. This was my work knife. Yes, a work knife with a filed back and ox horn handle. Excuse me. But I wanted to bead on it. I had got this one used off eBay for like $65, which was a steal. But I wanted to prove that these knives are just not a pretty face. They will do the work. In fact, I was batoning the top of this as I was cutting through cables, since I work in, used to work in the electronics industry. So I had to cut a lot of cables, and sometimes I would sit down and cut like 50 12-inch strips of cable to do modifications. And one day, instead of grabbing the cable cutter, I figured, well, let's start doing some batoning. So I sat down and I whacked this thing over 50 times. Of course, I had a 2x4 under it so I wouldn't break the blade. but no chips, held up, and still looks as pretty as it did the day I got it. Beautiful translucency there. This side's a little cloudy. The next one up is in ebony. Once again, the work back. Beautiful dark ebony, which is actually the kind I like. Although, you know, the little touch of brown ain't too bad either. And these knives have this awesome clip point. I like the high polish. They are a fingerprint magnet. Look how easy that gets greased up. So yeah, there's ebony and ivory. Stag, nice chunky stag here. And this one really, if someone really wanted to go all out, this is one of the more pricier models, and you got bigger hands, get the chunky stag, and it'll fit right that palm. That swell there at the bottom will fit right in your palm, and you can get a lot of work done. Don't be scared to use these, you guys. The only one that I have not used yet is my buffalo horn. This one's desert ironwood. I'm hoping the lighting will show that. I should be doing this outside. This is a desert ironwood. It's actually like a burl. And you can see it's got some use, and we might as well get them all fingerprinted up. And buffalo horn. So we got ox horn, ebony, stag, desert ironwood. And look at this beautiful buffalo horn. And you can see how minty the blade is here. This here is because it was my first one. And because I drop stuff all the time, and I don't want to crack the buffalo horn handle. Now, the newest arrival was from my good friend Taz over across the pond, Andy. He was watching Apostle P a couple Thursdays ago, and he seen this in ram's horn. And he knew I was missing a ram's horn. However, he wanted it for himself, but he's a little financially strapped, so he contacted me and said, yeah, if you want it, you better get over to Apostle P quickly. And that's what I did. And this one deserves, the ram's horn is just, I guess succulent would be a good word for it. Let's see if I got a flashlight around here, just so we can show you guys. I remember how to undo this. I want it open. Well, that's a lot of dead time. But as you guys know, Ricky's videos are a mess. Check that out though. Was it worth it? Huh? You know it. That translucent, buttery translucency. A phrase Eric made up. And I like to use it because it is the perfect description when you look at a ram's horn handle from Taylor's Eyewitness. So thank you, Taz. Let's put the Ambonia burl out there. And I think I'm going to chase one more, and that'll be the one in Mother of Pearl. And maybe I might do Slick's Mother of Pearl is a 2-blade Barlow. and I might get one of those just for that, and then I think the collection would be complete. So thanks, Eric, for all your assistance on, well, at least in the beginning. I've been able to kind of do it on my own now, but he helped me out in the beginning, showed me the places where to go, and of course that's what I did. And when I first I actually got these two together because I was still working, and I was waiting for Mr. Lee White to finish making these because they were on back order. And then I got a bonus, Christmas bonus. So I called back up there and I said, give me one of them Ambonia burls too. So they threw it in there, and that way I kind of saved on shipping overseas. So these two arrived in a box at the same time. Imagine my joy. So, but anyway, just wanted to show you some of those and let you know that, I'm not encouraging people to get out of focus on their collections, but you would not be disappointed if you acquired one of these somehow, some way. And they'll come in this box. This one was the one that Andy helped me get, and it's the 100 is the stock number, and the WB means worked back, which is the filing on the back, and ram's horn. And then your date code here is the first week of 2021. So this one's actually a couple years old, but it is another Lee White, and I'll show you. Made in Sheffield, entirely by hand. So basically these are customs. I guess I could go out on a limb and say that. Sheffield steel. I'll let you guys read that part of it if you want to pause it and read it. I should know it by heart now, by now, but I don't. So anyway, those are the Taylor's Eyewitness. Here's another custom from Sheffield, and this was made by Ashley Harrison from the Arthur Wright factory, but it's a custom. And Taz helped me get this, and this is again with a deep dark ebony. Actually, they say it's the same wood that's used to make pianos, and you know how dark those are. Of course, I already carried it a little bit. Not quite as much as a grease magnet, but these are fine Barlows too. You can get the budget model if you go to All About Pocket Knives and look up James and Company. And you can get he may even still have them in stack. But those are more production models. This one was made specifically, he made two of them, one for me and one for Taz. And Taz, like the guy he is, he sent me the better of the two. He had issues with one of them where the pivot was little. I mean, all your Sheffield knives are going to have a strong pull, but his pivot, he had to actually help push it down. And that's only not because of bad workmanship, it's just because a lot of grit got caught in there, and he was able to clean it up, and I think his is working fine now. And the last one before I let you guys go is something I was going to show you on way back Wednesday, but I had a very busy week, and Wednesday was my cancer screening, and I spent the whole day Wednesday with my dad. Spent the whole day yesterday with my dad. He's an awesome guy. He's going to be turning 88 in August. And he's still as chipper as ever. Of course, he's got his gimps and limps like any man of 88. But, yeah, very great guy. This here, we'll look at it more. I just wanted to show you the real eyewitness stamp. That's not an etch. That's stamped right into the steel. And one of their older tang stamps says Taylor of Sheffield. Taylor of Sheffield. And the more modern stamp, tang stamp, is pretty much on the bolster, Eyewitness, Sheffield, England. Eyewitness, Sheffield, England. So there you guys go. Mainly wanted to get this all out, say hi to Eric and hi to Taz, two great guys, and that's not a knock on the rest of you guys. I'm kind of on my thank you tour. If you guys see like my sticker come up, I've sent a few gifts out, and it's what I'm calling my thank you tour. Tom did a little video on what I sent him today, and if you check out Donovan too and Wyatt Hines, I sent them out some things. And yeah, the thank you tour is underway. I got a lot of people, Big J, Randy, Kevin at Boston Blades, RJ, I got something for him. So anyway, if you guys get something from me, don't feel obligated to send me anything back. It's like I said, without all your guys' support when I was in the hospital, I'm not going to say that I would have quit fighting, but you inspired me to really fight harder. And I couldn't get to where I am today without all you guys. So, that being said, and we're 22 minutes in, I'll leave you with my final closing that I always try and do right. And that's take care, my friends. See, I didn't even get it right. Until next time, my friends, take care. Peace. Bye-bye.